Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another political episode. We are back today, and we're specifically going to be looking at the state of Kansas. And boy, actually, it's actually kind of interesting because if I'm looking at this correctly, the AP said this county was actually not in for Harris, but officially it is. Let's take a look at that. Actually, kind of interesting because we did not see that happening. Let's take a look. Yes, you'll see. Look at that. Harris won the county that holds Topeka, Kansas, and that is absolutely surprising because throughout the whole, we were 80% in. That county that held Topeka, Kansas, that county was actually in favor for Trump. So let's take a look. What county is that? Shawnee County. Yes, Shawnee County. And here it's going for Kamala Harris. Now, keep in mind, Shawnee and this county right over here, we got to look at those county projections here. We can actually pull up Kansas election NYT. Actually take a look at those results. So, yes, you'll see looking here, 49.4 to 48.1. That is Kamala Harris, and that is the county of Riley. And Riley County doesn't really have many voters. I mean, looking at, Riley. Okay, 71,956 people. Okay, that's obviously... Okay, I think it's part of the reason is Manhattan. Manhattan's been a liberal city for the most part. Look at these results. Yes, in 2012, it voted for Romney, by 4 points. Actually, that's not really a good sign. 53,000 people. You would expect the reason why, obviously, Manhattan, Riley County has become a blue Democrat county. Oh, it's probably because of the Manhattan, or in other words, 53,000 people, a city of 53,000. That's a pretty big city if I'm making this correct. So 2016, it voted for Clinton probably by 5. It voted for Democrats even more in 2020. And I'm not sure how much it went for Democrats this year around, but what it's looking like is, let's see how the county of Riley improved. 4 points. So it was pretty Democrat. You would expect maybe the county, Manhattan, Kansas would probably vote 54, 53% for Harris. That's kind of what it kind of looks like right now. Looking at Wichita. Wichita is also a big city in Kansas, and Sedgwick County, is that how I'm saying it? 56%. It's not really putting a big dent in Kansas. For Republicans, it's Donald Trump is still handily winning that said state going forward. Here, I think we're 99% in. Are we? Yes, 99% in, according to the AP, Associated Press, and Central Time. But yes, we're still getting those municipality results in. But yes, obviously, Kansas is a red state, but they keep saying, oh, this is going to be a future swing state. Well, why are you saying this is going to be a future swing state? Let's take a look at the 2020 elections in Kansas and get into the reasons why it might be a future swing state. Okay, for some silly reason, we have, of course, the 2022 elections, which were good news for Republicans. You'll see Republicans have improved in Johnson County right here. And so, unfortunately, Johnson County has made itself to be a Democrat stronghold. You will see it voted for Trump in 2016, but it actually, ever since 2020, it's been going more aggressively for Democrats. And it seems the last time the county itself has actually gone Republican is 5-6 years ago. So that is the unfortunate reality when it comes to that. There's also the Kansas gubernatorial race, and you'll obviously know, okay, 2018, same scenario. Like, obviously, uh, it was not so good for Republicans, and Democrats have seemingly improved their margins. Actually, did they? Did they really? I don't think they did. Yeah, this was the best performance for Dems. You'll see, they really got people out voting in this county right here, Douglas County. There's also Shawnee County, which holds Manhattan. There's also Topeka right over here. There's other areas like Wichita, they got out, Harvey County. They also got this county right here, Leon County. So they got the big cities out, the college cities out in voting. Same deal in 2022. They got those college cities like Wichita, 56% Republican. Well, in 2022, it voted for Democrat, Laura Kelly. And also, Democrats have also won Leon and I believe picked up Gary County, which went to Trump by 58% here. So comparing these said results, and even the abortion ballot measure in 2022 also spells doom, because this is the best. If this was all this green was Democrats, this is a landslide for Democrats, okay? If all this green, which voted no and for the pro-life abortion referendum, were Democrat voters, and I bet they are, but what if they're just a Democrat ticket line altogether? This is what it would probably look like. 59%, almost 60%. This is probably the best Democrats would do in Kansas. And you'll see, pretending this blue is red, Kansas, not every county, like the countryside's not blue, but according to a congressional district, yes, this is absolutely blue. That's because no one lives in these blue areas. No one lives there. Poor turnout there anyway, but the turnout increased in these green areas. So then again, I would say low turnout overall would probably be the reason. But yeah, I would say overall good performance for Republicans. Is it ready to be a swing state yet? No, but like the elections in like Kansas in 2022 did spell some concerns for Republicans. Like, what's an example of a close race? The Attorney General's race. Republicans barely won by a notch in that race, by a 1 percentage point. Chris Kobach won that election, and what you would expect to be a very close race. Chris Mann, who really isn't a notable figure in Kansas, not even governor. Let's see. Chris Mann is an attorney and former police officer. He almost won this election. Solid red state. So interestingly enough, it's become increasingly concerned. But of course, a lot of hope in this said election was increased for Republicans, because it seems like 57% of Kamala Harris's 41%. That's like a 14 to 15 digit landslide. That seems to really relieve. Republicans have done better than they have 4 years ago by a point, but who knows? Maybe that's going to be, Kansas would be put into more of a competition, because you just don't know if Illinois could go into a competition like Illinois goes into like a swing state more. Better example, New Jersey goes into a swing state status. Then Kansas can very well turn to a swing state status if that college population doesn't hold up. So, interesting results. Before we end, I do want to specifically go off here, talk about the what we basically predicted it would look like from not the very start, but technically the very start. Well, let's pull up our Kansas prediction and see what we got right and what we got wrong. Okay, so Kansas. No, we're not down there yet. Okay, here we go. So this was our prediction. We were actually saying, Riley and Shawnee counties would go to Trump. Did that happen? No. We were totally blindsided by... We weren't really that, I mean, there weren't really much polls displaying which way Kansas would go. So it was very hard to kind of state, but my justification of why I said Shawnee and Riley counties would go Republican. Well, I said we went red in a major race, but I pretty much downplayed Jerry Morin's popularity. Well, let's see. Jerry Morin won in 2016. He carried Johnson County. And sure, Johnson County, it's a Republican county back then. Sure, make your point. But then again, you got Robert Girard. I said Garrett, but Robert Girard, who ran under a libertarian ticket. He took 5.58, and I don't know, maybe he ran under a more liberal platform. But then again, libertarian. And Patrick Waisner, you could make the case that Robert Girard just took more progressive votes away. Because Kansas's Democratic Party was more center-left, than actually left, right? It's more centrist than the Democrat Party itself. So you can make that case. But did that end up happening? Well, like, it looks like this Robert Girard didn't take anything from Jerry Morin. Take a look at this result. 70% in 2010. He almost won, let's see, Douglas County. Looks a little bit the same. Yeah, 70% for Jerry Morin. 2004, Kansas was more of a red state back then, though. But now it's put into motion, and I didn't really necessarily put into fact that Jerry Morin is just a popular U.S. senator in Kansas. In fact, this was his poorest performance. Maybe having it not been Jerry Morin, it would have been much of a closer result. But this is what we had. We basically underestimated Kamala Harris in the state of Kansas. We'll give it to you. So this is the state. Whoops, is that? Yeah, we got. Okay. Bunch of Kansas is another state with a lot of counties, so bear with me here. Just a lot of clicking. But yes, you get what I'm saying. Yeah, Johnson County has been a suburban Republican stronghold for years. And just one day they decide, we're going to leave the Republican Party. Because then again, it makes sense, because it's a suburban county centered by Kansas City, sort of like Wyandotte County right here, which is the most liberal county in Kansas, as you can clearly state. But yes, this is what we were predicting. 102 counties for Trump, 3 counties for Kamala. But what the actual results? We have to give Shawnee to Kamala and Riley to Kamala. 100 counties for Trump, 5 counties for Harris. So, yep, we just we didn't predict the 2 counties correctly. This was kind of our take. But what do you guys think in regards to our video today? Let me know down below, and as always, I will see you all in the next political episode.